guys, I'm your host Colin Sopio, and of course this is Sporting TV, your number one leading sports channel. And on set today, I'm glad to have Hope Apundit, and Hope is our first female guest on this show. So Hope, it's a pleasure having you on set.
Thank you.
So welcome.
Thank you.
So today is a derby between Manchester United and Man City, one of the most fierce derbies in the world. So what do you make of this derby before we move on?
Clearly, the Manchester derby is one of the biggest derbies in football history, and this derby in particular is going to be very different from the previous Manchester derbies. As we can see from the previous Manchester derbies, Manchester City has always had the upper hand. They have always come into the derby with a very impeccable form. But this time, Manchester United has something to offer because both teams are in good form. Both teams are in the top run, they're in the top race, and both teams are scoring a lot of goals. And especially Manchester United. Manchester City, obviously, they are always there, they are the top dog, but Manchester United are coming into this derby with a new team, not a completely new team, but a new dynamic, a new philosophy, and obviously a new coach. So it's going to be interesting. And even in the previous derbies, and this is why derbies are very interesting, in the previous derby, even if Manchester City were coming to the derby with the upper hand, Manchester United have always won in some derbies and Manchester City won in some derbies. So this is going to be very interesting to witness.
Of course, it's going to be a very interesting match. So far, Ten Hag has a very good record. Now in the league, he has a percentage of 72%. That is winning rate compared to the other tacticians. Do you think that now with that winning rate, and do you think now that it will have an impact coming to this match, considering that Man City of late with Haaland have been really something else? They are banging in the goals, but somehow it's not really working out for Pep. So what do you think will happen between the two tacticians coming into this match?
So let's start with the Man City philosophy and Pep Guardiola. So in the previous seasons, Pep Guardiola had never had a main man. He had Aguero for some time, but even Aguero's role was not the main man character. But we see Haaland's position, Haaland's power, and even his physique. He demands attention. So in recent games, you have noticed in the past two games, Haaland has not been able to score per se because the defenders are keeping a very close eye on him.
Yeah. They
They are marking him. And maybe Pep, being a good tactician and all, maybe he has noticed this, and you can see people like Gundogan, people like Bernardo Silva are stepping up to fill that role. So, yeah, we are not saying that Haaland will not have a role to play, but we can see other teams have started to notice how to counter his immense power. And then we go to Manchester City's playing style. So Pep Guardiola, his playing style is more of tiki-taka. It's high press, high intensity, more bodies forward and all. And as you can see, the teams which have been able to beat Pep Guardiola have always used one tactic, one simple tactic, counters. Because they always keep a high line when everyone is attacking. So if Manchester United, loses the ball, when Manchester City gains the ball and they lose it, so Manchester United are able to counter-attack, they will be able to score. And then when it comes to Manchester United. When it comes to Manchester United, also the tactic of Erik Ten Hag, I have noticed that in his game, he has no constant tactic. His tactics are changing depending on the situation, because as we saw in the Wolves game, the tactic they approached in the first half was not the tactic that was used in the second half, and that created a difference. So if Pep Guardiola is able to see the changes in tactics, that every time they are shifting a play, every time they are shifting their formations, and every time what are their reactions when they are attacking, when they are defending, when they are on the ball, and when they are off the ball, they will be able to counter it. So I think the main man in Manchester United to watch will be Marcus Rashford. His game has been really impressive in the previous matches. And also, we cannot forget Bruno Fernandes, who is Manchester United's playmaker.
Yeah.
And for me, I believe if you block Bruno Fernandes so that he cannot make the forward passes, then you have had a solution to Manchester United's ability to score.
Well said, Hope. If you block Bruno Fernandes, then you give Manchester United no room to play, because Bruno Fernandes is the man behind Manchester United moving forward and creating those chances and working really in those small pockets to give the through passes to the legs of Marcus Rashford and the legs of Anthony. So we move back to Manchester United midfield, which has been really wanting past few seasons, and now we have an enforcer, that is Casemiro. He has really bring in a lot of experience and a lot of stability into that midfield. Do you think that this being his first derby, do you think that he will really now come to party and really give Manchester City midfield with the likes of Gundogan and Bernardo Silva a run for their money? What's your take on that?
So I can say that my take on derbies are really volatile, because you have only one job in this footballing experience, is to beat your biggest rivals, your biggest competitors. And in this case, both teams have something to lose. If Manchester United happen to win, they're going to cement their position in the title race. They're going to have an opportunity to overtake the teams like Newcastle and Manchester City. And if Manchester City win, they are going to climb up and defeat Arsenal, of which they are really trying to close that 5-point gap. They're really trying their best right now. So all I can say right now, Casemiro really has a lot. Maybe he has never experienced a derby, which is going to be, how do we call it? Which is going to have an impact in the club.
Yeah.
I can say that how he has played in the previous matches, he is up for the task because of his experience, and he has also played in very big matches.
Very big matches, of course. Remember, Casemiro is a 5-time Champions League winner and also numerous winner of the La Liga competition. Now, moving on to Manchester City, we can't forget to mention this guy. He has been banging goals in, I think, every matches. So far, he has the best record ever that has been ever been set in the EPL. I'm talking of Haaland. Do you think that he will continue this goal scoring streak against the Red Devils?
Haaland is a very special and unique player, and you can see he has what I like to call the triple threat. Haaland has the physique, he has the speed, and he also has the skill, especially when he's eyeing for the goal. And he also has a good attitude for the team, which is really helpful in such instances, because he is a team player. He not only scores, but he also creates, he sets up his other teammates to score. Meaning that his role to play is very big, and his force is something which is not dealt carefully, cannot be easy to conquer.
Yeah, Haaland is a force to reckon with, and I can remember that the first leg when we met Manchester City, as some call them the noisy neighbors, they really humiliated Manchester, and it was a 6-goal thriller for Man City. And the other person I like to mention in that Man City playing unit is their defense. So far, they have been leaking a lot of goals, moving forward, not scoring a lot of goals. With the likes of Akanji at the heart of that defense, and Kyle Walker, who do you think that will really man up that defense between the two defenses of coming into this match?
Both of the defenders are pretty good defenders. We cannot say that they are extremely terrible, but I can say they have different things to offer, per se, because Akanji is obviously his age, he's able to run up and down for longer, but we cannot forget that Kyle Walker has the experience and he also has the speed to deal with the really fast Manchester United attack.
Kyle Walker has the speed to deal with the Manchester United attack. That is Marcus Rashford. And we have to touch a bit on Marcus Rashford. And kudos to Benny McCarthy, the South African tactician who has really done wonders to bring Marcus Rashford to his to form. Currently, Rashford is banging in both goals, left, right, and center. Do you think that will be a very interesting thing to see if Marcus Rashford and Kyle Walker head on, considering that they are teammates in England? What do you make of that duel?
What I make about that duel is, as much as they're teammates in England, they have different things to fight on right now. But you can see, because they have trained together in the past in their team's camp, their national team's camp.
Yeah.
Obviously, Rashford knows some tricks up on
Kyle Walker.
And Kyle Walker may know what to do to stop Marcus Rashford. So that will be pretty interesting to see.
It will be really interesting to see where the battle will be won in today's derby. Of course, this is Sporten TV, your #1 leading sports channel, and I'm your host Collins Opio. And on set today we have Hope Ragen upon it, and we'll be right back. Please remember to keep it Sporten TV. Welcome to the show, guys. I'm your host Collins Opio, and of course this is Sporten TV, your #1 leading sports channel. Welcome back to the show. And on set today, I had the pleasure to have this lady, the first lady to be on set with us to discuss matters football. To cut the story short, today is a derby, one of the biggest derbies in the world. Manchester United are meeting Manchester City. So we are going to break down for you what's our thoughts on today's match, and of course what will happen. So keep tuning, and of course join us. So Hope,
Yes.
the two tacticians, that is Pep Guardiola and Erik ten Hag. As for a very long time now, Pep Guardiola has been using the 4-3-3 system. That is the four defenders, 3 midfielders, and 3 attackers. And on the other side, Ten Hag has been favoring a 4-2-3-1 formation. Between the two formations, which one do you think is the most attacking?
So I can say these formations, traditionally, they both play different roles. As you can see that the 4-3-3 is usually used when somebody really wants to be holding. They really don't want to defend, and they also don't want to aggressively attack. They want to control the balance between a perfect defense and a perfect attack. And as we can see, the Manchester United, the 4-2-3-1 formation, really favors the attack because it utilizes the central attacking midfielder. In this case, it is Bruno, who really needs to be behind the striker so that they can make the forward play. So, yeah, both formations can be used to attack, but I can say that the Manchester United attacking formation is really better in terms of attack because especially you're able to push more bodies forward without jeopardizing your defense.
Wow, well said. Coming into this match, Manchester United has won 8 on a trot. That is 8 consecutive matches, and they have been the most informed team in the English Premier League. And it's a fact that they are the only team still remaining in the 4 competitions that they are competing. That is the Carabao, that is the FA and Premier League. Coming to this match, do you think that Manchester United form will have any impact, considering now that they have been on a high and Man City has been on a downward trend? Do you think that it will have something to really figure out this match?
The form is very important because the form steers the confidence of the team. How confident is the team to be facing their biggest rivals, who are also a very good team. So the confidence that the previous form is going to play a very, very big role in this derby, because they're going to feel as if they're going to be able to take Pep's men well, without folding, without allowing goals, and most importantly, without a defeat. But we also realize that Pep Guardiola really does not have an extended period of a losing streak. It is something that has never happened in his career. And I'm pretty sure he's coming to this match pretty aware of the stake, pretty aware of the team that he's going to face against, and pretty aware of the tactics that they use, the formation that they're going to use, the type of players they're going to favor. And yeah, so obviously also he has some few tricks
up his sleeve.
Yes.
Coming to this match, do you think now that Ten Hag has something to prove? The last match, it was a rain of goals for Man City. Do you think now it's a platform now for Ten Hag now to stamp his authority and say, guys, Manchester United is here and we are ready to fight for in this match and for the title? Your take on this?
My take in this is, of course, as a coach, your biggest pride is winning titles and winning matches, which will further lead to winning these titles that you want to acquire in your portfolio. So he has something to prove. And similarly, also Guardiola has something to prove, because he has cemented his position as the coach who is undefeated, as a giant, as a tactical genius, and obviously he also wants to protect that crown.
Now let's shift gears. One of the most important things that fans and many people forget to mention is that the referee. We have the VAR, and it's a very high stake match, and the refereeing issue should really be handled with a lot of care. What's your take on the refereeing so far coming into this match?
Coming into this match, as I've said before, derbies are usually volatile, meaning that some players decide to get emotional and cheeky and aggressive, and obviously both teams know what is at stake if they do lose or even if they do draw. So the refereeing is going to be hard, especially if there are those circumstances where a team feels as if they have been wronged. The free kicks, the corners,
the tackles,
everything. What we're just going to hope for is that the VAR and the fourth officials are very keen on what is going to be happening on the pitch. And I think at this point they should really be keen, because everybody knows the high intensity of a derby.
Derbies are usually very emotional and very, for a lack of better term, very hard. Yeah. So moving on, I will just touch a bit on the home advantage. Manchester United is playing at home, and since the arrival of Ten Hag in the summer from Ajax, he has really turned things around. Do you think now Man U having the 12th man, that is the crowd behind them, will it have any impact in terms of Manchester United going into this match?
Obviously it will have an impact. Home ground advantage is very important, especially if your home ground is a fortress. In the previous matches, Manchester United have been able to maintain a good and a clean home record. And obviously their fans are really thrilled about this, and I'm pretty sure because of this knowledge, they're going to pour into the Old Trafford today. So we are going to expect a lot of Manchester United fans. Obviously they'll be cheering on the players, singing the chants, and this is going to be a very major confidence boost on the players, and it's going to help the players to push in and push forward.
Well, you've had it. Manchester United is a fortress, that is Old Trafford. It has a lot of history. So because of time, I just like us to wrap this up with your prediction. Who do you think that will carry the match today and have the bragging rights moving forward?
Personally, I feel that their gameplay is somehow cancelling each other. I think that their tactics and their formations are going to cancel each other. I also feel that the Manchester United defense is going to be on Haaland's neck. And yeah, this, when you spend a lot of your time manning one person, it may affect your whole dynamic of your gameplay. So for me, I'd like to settle with a draw.
Hope is going for a draw, and I'm really looking forward to this match, and it's something that happens once in a while, and I hope that your prediction do come true. Before we wrap it up, Manchester United is currently in 4th and Man City is 2nd, and the gap is only 5 points. In a nutshell, break it down for us as we wrap the show.
First, I'd like to ask our viewers at home, what is your prediction? Because we'd really love to know. Who do you think is going to carry this derby day? And yeah, the competition is stiffer than it has ever been before. If Manchester United win and Newcastle loses, they're going to climb to 3rd. And if Manchester City loses, the gap of catching, or rather the hopes of ever catching Arsenal, is really becoming slim. And yeah, this is why it is a very high stake. It is a high stake match.
Well said, it's a very high stake match. This is Sporten TV, your #1 leading sports channel. View, subscribe, and give us a like. Remember to tune in for our next analysis, which will be Arsenal against Tottenham, the London Derby. And also remember to join us for our post-match analysis, that is of Manchester City and Manchester United. Keep it Sporten TV. I'm your host, Collins Opio. Hope your final words in seconds.
My final words will be tune in to this channel. We have so much in store for you. If you love football, if you love entertainment, and if you love facts. Thank you.
That's it for us. It's bye-bye for now.
Bye.